gonna start our recording here. It just sort of jumped into it. It was fun. So yeah, so Nick, if you want to have your face cam up, that's fine. So let's see. So I'm gonna start you guys out, just you three, with your GIF companion and the gunslinger Munley that was with you. And I'm gonna say, just to move the story along a little bit, that as you guys are leaving the room the next morning, you realize you've already been all over the backside of this dungeon, so the only way to go is through this hallway. There is an open door through this hallway. And through this hallway, you can hear more ominous noises. Not the same ominous noises as you've heard before in this crypt, but ominous noises nonetheless. And that's when things get very, very weird. And I'm going to hope that this all still works the way that I had it working earlier today. It'll take me just 1 second to get this loaded. Dum, dum, dum. There. Resizing windows. Where is it? Is that an auto tuner? Aha, there we go. Okay. Make sure it's the right one. It is. Ooh. Okay. So, as you approach this door, the things begin to change a little bit. They get a little bit strange, we can say. Actually, gonna get right rid of my face on here for a second, and you guys are gonna see, hopefully, hopefully.
Shit, what did I just do?
No, that was me. You guys are still there. I'm just messing with things in the video that I'm supposed to be doing here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Sorry, my screen that I have the OBS on is so small, it's absurd. Like the resolution on it has the text like quarter point pica or something. I don't know. Okay, so that should be that one. So as you guys approach this, oh man, transform fit to screen. There we go. As you guys approach this door, suddenly a deafening roar fills your brains, and something quite wicked seems to happen. You can't move forward anymore for a moment, and just as you think that the pain is going to become unbearable, suddenly it passes away, and a message begins to play through your mind. Not a language you've heard before, except maybe in your dreams, except for maybe in your nightmares. Oh, well, now I'm missing everybody, aren't I?
I'd like to do arcane sensing of it.
Go ahead and roll an arcane check for me. While I figure out what I did to your guys' cameras. Okay, yeah, you do not recognize this as any form of magic you have ever seen or heard before. You do know that it appears to be malevolent. Oh, man.
I don't recognize it as infernal, do I?
One moment. I'll let you know. It does not sound infernal to you. It does, however, have a hint of some sort of either abyssal or some form of undercommon overtones to it. Like you would recognize it as being that sort of speech, but maybe you don't know exactly what it says.
Do I reckon is it primordial?
You do not. Where are your face cams? What happened?
Is Vanita with us now?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm interested in rolling for insight to get a sense of whether the incapacitation, like how physical that is, like whether that's a purely fear-based thing or whether there is some form of physical control on them.
The one thing that you notice is that when it hit you guys, you all reacted the same way that Arianth did at the beginning of the crypt, when that powerful magic was detected. Like, it was... Gotcha. All of you sort of have this effect now, like, giving you the impression that maybe it's much, much closer.
Okay.
Would you guys...
Is Vanita with us now, or...?
Vanita is not with you.
Not running to
nope,
her?
not yet.
Okay.
I have a nagging suspicion you will soon, though.
Heard.
I'd like to try to sense exactly where the direction again of where it's coming from, just so I know, so we can focus.
Okay.
And Maggie's still outside of combat is giving guidance to anybody who's doing something like that. So I want to give guidance to our end.
You got it. Yeah, I don't know what happened to your guys' videos. That's, oh, I see, I think what I did. Room, one.
Alright, I'm gonna have Munley and check out the door here.
Alright, roll me a investigation check.
That is a 14 with guidance.
Okay. You are fairly certain that just beyond this door, whatever it is that just sent you that message is standing there. Hey, oh, I found you. There you are. Knew I'd find you guys eventually.
Is there anything you guys want to do before we...
Yeah, is that what you were talking about?
Well, I was gonna ask, I was basically gonna try to focus the direction of the power. If it's right behind the door, then we know where it is.
Yep. So you guys, because you guys were careful and investigated this, I will say there is a guarantee you will not be surprised on this encounter. You know that there's something powerful behind that door, and its intentions do not seem lighthearted. They seem like perhaps you finally found the source of this infestation. It's your ultimate goal while you're in this crypt.
Alright, Tohan looks at you guys and asks, you ready?
I nod yes.
Maggie says, as soon as the door opens, I'm going to create a sound on the opposite side of the room, and gets ready to do that. I'm assuming Tohan's up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tohan's gonna put the doors open.
All right.
And Maggie immediately creates a huge crash on the other side of the room.
You got it. Lock our doors here so we don't accidentally. Actually, you know what? You kicked the doors down so hard, we get to do my favorite thing ever. Twang! Love that. My favorite thing. Let's see. So what do you guys see when you go forward? Are all of you moving forward as a group, or just Tohan and Maggie moving forward?
I'm going to use my 120-foot night vision to try to scout ahead, see ahead, and warn them of anything that I can see before they do.
120 feet, you say. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 26. What's that divided by 5? 10, 20, so that's what? 20, 22 square? No.
24.
Yeah.
4, okay. So,
yeah, 24.
well, you're going to have to deal with roughly 20, because that's about as far as I can get the thing to work. You, as you peer through the cracks in these doors here, we'll say you move just far enough to do that. You see an altar, and near that altar, get you in there without. Move you guys a little bit more forward. Like, essentially what you see in the room itself, get out of here, is you're in a big square room. 2 more doors directly ahead of you. 2 doors off to your left, and peering through the crack between the doors, you can see an altar, and on that altar is a red glowing gem that is thrumming with power. You can also see that there are a couple of coffins kind of loosely scattered about the room, almost as if something had picked them up and thrown them. And behind you is a hallway leading back down the other direction, which, if I spin you around, you may be able to see down about that far or so. And there is nothing in this hallway here behind you. Is assuming that Tohan was up front, and Maggie was right by him. Munley kind of hangs back, and the gift just is very disinterested at this point. He doesn't seem to be really. He doesn't want any part of your guys' crazy quest. Essentially, he agreed to help you guys through the crypts, but he looks like he's ready for this to be done. Essentially.
Well, we gave him a lot of gold worth of stuff, so...
Yeah, and if you remember correctly, he was also very greedy about it, too. He took a lot of extra gold when you guys kind of weren't looking. Before you guys had a chance to look, he took who knows how many handfuls of gold stuffed into his shirt. Yep. Yeah, he didn't like it when you told him that, though. He was unhappy when you told him that. He kept it to himself, though, and he didn't bother you guys about it over the course of the night sleeping. So, how would you guys like to proceed? It seems as though the object of your desires is on the other side of this door.
Alright, I'm gonna have Munley investigate this door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the investigation check. I'll move Munley right up to it.
A 23.
Okay.
Without guidance.
Munley puts his ear up to the door, and he listens for a moment. And he begins to get a horrified look on his face. And he turns to look at you and he says, "Get back!" But when he gets about halfway through back, one of the doors blows off its hinges. That away. And in the room... We're going to use somebody with an actual revealer here. You see another 2 of the Choldrith creatures that you had seen before. Why are you not revealing? Reveal! Reveal! Alright, well, since it's the final encounter, I can cheat like a bastard and just do this. Click. Fagor, delete. Bam. You see this guy. This giant purple monstrosity is making his way through a shimmering portal. He is, he stands maybe 14 feet tall, 10, 14 feet tall, somewhere in that range. It's kind of hard to tell because he's hunched over partway. And the closest thing I can think of in our world that you guys would have to associate him with would be, looks like a xenomorph. It looks like one of H.R. Geiger's aliens. Except for bright purple and extra pissed looking. See if I can do this without accidentally messing up the portal. Nope, I didn't. But, so as he steps through and moves forward, you also notice behind him a small, well, basically you notice what Nick described to you earlier of a character, a female tiefling, dressed in the arrangements of a soldier, I believe it was. And she is literally like one step out of the portal when it closes. And she kind of looks behind her like, uh-oh, and realizes that she is in behind this creature. Let me just go find you a miniature real quick that I probably should have done this already. Alright, do you want the Knight of Knee or Sirloin?
I'll take the Knight of Knee.
Okay. So that's gonna be your character for right now.
Alright.
We'll find you a better character mini at some point.
Hey, how can you go wrong as a Knight of Knee?
Right?
That's right.
Well, I mean, he did have to cut down the largest tree in the forest with a herring, so.
It's true.
And a shrubbery. A nice one.
And it's a lot easier to say than a Knight of...
See, I knew I had a good D&D group. So yeah, when that door flies open, Munley is now, he presses his back to the wall. He steps to one side and kind of just tries to get out of the way of the door, essentially, and Toan. That leaves you standing in the doorway, and you are probably the only one that would really notice right away, based on positioning, we'll say, like that, where this tiefling is. And at that, I'm going to have all you guys roll for initiative. So, Mr. Farrow, what that means is you will roll a d20, and you will add your initiative modifier, which should be, I believe, at the top of the page on the abilities, saves, and senses page. Yes, there's in the gray area, there's a thing that says initiative, and it'll have a modifier.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how well that showed up, but I rolled a 21.
21, okay. So far, Tohan's in the lead. I'm going to do this just by keeping track of,
15.
Okay. Maggie with a 15. And if you're looking on your, character... 7, Jen?
17.
17, okay. So you're going to go before Maggie. Put you right back there. Munley is frightened. He is suffering from the condition frightened, which means that he suffers disadvantage on any attack rolls. Enemies get advantage on attack rolls against him, and he is unable to move towards the source of his fear, which in this case is that big purple motherfucker. So, Nick, on the bottom left of your thing is a thing that looks kind of like a polyhedral dice. If you click that, it should bring up a row of shit to roll with.
Yeah, I rolled a 14. I don't know if it showed up in the game log or not, but...
It might
and
have.
I have a +1.
Okay, so 15. So you're tied with Maggie then. Munley is at the end. Oops. Go back up.
I just realized there's a game log.
I noticed that earlier
Oh, where's that?
for the first time today as well.
Where we can
It's,
see the rolls
there's
right on
it's
our
like a
screens
little,
from each other.
Yeah, I only found it because I saw your guys' rolls popping up as push notifications on here.
Well, that's cool.
Right where it says campaign TTS, there's a little
Oh, no
Yeah.
thought
kidding.
bubble right there, and you
Yeah.
hit that.
Man, this page keeps getting cooler and cooler. That's awesome. Okay. Well, that makes rolling for stuff a lot easier, doesn't it?
Well, I'm glad I used this to roll instead of the dice app that I downloaded.
Oh, that's great. That makes it super easy for me to keep track of stuff. And then I actually can do the same thing, I think. And I can probably either just use Munleys to roll with or whatever. But, or like I said, I can just roll it on the tabletop. So that puts...
Yeah, don't mind my firebolt damage roll. That was a mistake.
No, that's okay.
Oh, I see.
All
So
right.
if I click initiative, then automatic rolls for that. Okay.
So let's
So-
see.
You could.
Check opponents and dice and metal and d20. Oop. Alright, so king. So I'm going to roll me a d20, and I got a 12 plus his initiative modifier of 3. That puts him tied with Maggie and Ariana. And then, Nick, you said Veneda. Is it Veneda, right? You had a... I'm sorry, you rolled where is it again?
So I just I didn't mean to, but I just clicked initiative and it rolled again. But I originally rolled a 14, so it would be 15.
Okay. Oh, don't do that. No, I clicked on something. So many windows. Okay, so
Yeah, that's the neat thing about D&D Beyond. You pretty much can just click on where it says, like, plus whatever, and it rolls for you and adds it for you.
Yeah, it's like
right,
pushing
and
the...
it'll also keep track of what it would. So, yeah.
So Tohan, that means that you are going to be first in our initiative order, I believe. Right? Did I roll for those guys? Oh, no, I'm sorry. So the Choldriths are going to go first. So they are going to move their movement towards you. It's this guy, which is a good solid 30 feet. And if you remember, partway through, this one decides that he's going to climb partway up the wall by the door. So he's now kind of positioned there. This one climbs up on top of the altar and places himself there, and that one's going to shoot a web at you. The other one is going to ready an attack action in case any of you come into the door. So webby web.
Okay.
Here is his web attack. It's 5 to hit. So go back down here again. Okay, so he's got an 18 to hit. Does that hit you, Tohan?
Yeah, my AC is 15.
Okay. So you are now restrained by webbing. So restrained, what that means is, I mean, it's basically what you think it was. It's your speed becomes 0. You can't benefit to any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your rolls have disadvantage. And you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. You may roll to remove yourself from this. It is a strength check to rip it clean, if that's what you want to do, or if you can come up with another way to get the webs off from you somehow. I'll factor that in, but you would need to roll a higher than a 10 with a strength check. And you can do that on the beginning of your turn. So you've been webbed, so you are now, you're stuck there for a second. I'm going to lock you right in place.
Alright, well, I'm going to rage,
Okay?
which gives me advantage on strength saving throws.
Okay?
And so, with advantage, I rolled an 18, so I'm going to break out of my web.
Nice. So yeah, immediately you're just, he shoots this web at you, but you just kind of grab it almost midair, like right as it's hitting you, and you just fling it off to one side, like it just kind of hits the floor like a plop.
And I'm going to get in there.
Okay. How far in do you want to move?
I kind of want to engage with the one at the altar that just shot the web at me.
Okay.
And I don't think I can do anything because it's an action to break free of the web, right?
correct. 2, 3, 4, 5. You would have a bonus action available. No, I'm sorry, you raged with your bonus action this turn. That's right.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. If you're planting yourself right up against them.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. After that, now this is where it gets confusing because you all have 15s. So we're gonna go based on straight dexterity score. So, does anybody have a dexterity score higher than 15?
Well, I had 17, so.
Oh, you had 17, not 15. I'm sorry. Okay, then in that case, it is Arianth's turn.
Okay. Alright, what can I see where I'm standing right now?
You can kind of see around the corner. You can see the purple thing, the altar, and the Choldrith. You kind of saw the other one walk towards the wall, but you can't see. You don't have line of sight on him right now. You just know he's there. But you could definitely have line of sight on the Choldrith right there. You probably couldn't hit the other guy behind him, without hitting the Choldrith first. So he's sort of blocking for his master. It looks like.
Alright,
Just a little bit closer so you can.
Sorry, give me one. I will shoot a level 1 chaos bolt at the spider on the altar.
Okay. So look at this. I can look at the log. That's so neat.
Oh, sorry, got ahead of the game there. Don't mind that roll I just did.
That's okay.
That was damage, I know.
I'm still just in awe that this thing exists. I didn't know this was a thing. You know how much easier this would have made my play-by-post campaign?
Yeah, I didn't either.
I don't even need the dice tonight. I can just leave the dice in the bag. It's crazy. Okay, so that is
I got a 17. Now, do I add the +3 modifier as well as the +5 hit, or no?
You would.
Never mind. Actually, the +5 modifier. The +3 modifier, is that for when I do my damage?
It should be for your spell attack. It would be for both on a spell. If it's a spell that causes damage, you can also add your modifier to that as well. So when you roll for damage, you would add your modifier to the result of the roll.
See, that was my question, I've been doing that wrong this entire time. I should have asked that a long time ago.
Okay.
So I've been under damaging quite a bit.
That's okay. You're a young sorcerer. You didn't know any better.
Fair enough.
We're all learning.
Alright, so I got a 17 to hit.
Okay, and I believe that does hit, if I remember correctly. Oops. I shifted off from that. Back it on up. 17 does hit. Go ahead and roll for your damage.
14 plus my modifier, 19, and let me just figure out which type of damage I want to do. Poison damage.
You said how much altogether?
19.
Okay. So you blast this weird spider centaur thing, and it rocks it. Since it's standing up on there, I'm going to have him make a dexterity save and see if you knock him off the thing. So let's see, his dex. So it's 3. I'm gonna call it a 15. Call it a 15. It's gonna pass. There. And he rolls 14 plus 3, so he passes. So you rock him back, but he stays planted pretty firmly on top of this altar. And he has his ass facing you guys because he just shot webs out of it at you. So technically, his back's to you.
So since I hit him with poison damage, does he get additional damage every turn, or?
Yes, he is now poisoned, which there is a specific thing for that. As soon as I find it again. Let's add a new tab on here. See, the really amazing thing about D&D these days is that the internet exists. So let's see. A poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Don't know if he takes damage each turn or if that's it.
It's usually
Scrolling down. Yep, that's it. He has disadvantage on all of his attack rolls and his ability checks for till he is not poisoned anymore, essentially. Unless there is a limit on that spell, but I don't believe there was.
I didn't see any limit.
Yeah, so from now on out, he has disadvantage on all of those things. Okay.
And I think I'll pretty much stay right where I am for the moment, since I still have a line of sight and I'm not right in the way of anything.
Okay, you got it. All right, so now we get back to that situation that I had talked about before, where Venadia and Megamemnon, you both had rolled 15s, as well as the Neogi rolled a 15. So we're going to go based on straight dexterity scores. So the creature has a 16 for a dexterity score. And can anybody beat that?
I got 12.
12?
I got 14 with modifier.
Okay, so we're going to go creature, and then Venadia, and then Megamemnon. So the creature, at this point, the voice you heard earlier, it begins speaking yet again. It's this dark, guttural, just awful sound, and it's not something that you ever want to hear again. It chills you to the bone. So at this point, I need anybody within 30 feet of him to make a saving throw, a wisdom saving throw, I'm sorry. So that's, I believe, Tohan. Munley is already frightened. How far am I here? Let me get my ruler thingy out. See if you guys are... Okay, actually, Arianth, you're just out of range. Come on now. From there to there. Maggie, you're just inside of range, so I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. And Tohan.
Okay.
The DC you're looking
I
to
rolled
beat
a 10.
on... What's that? Rolled a 10?
I rolled a 10.
Okay. So,
I rolled 11.
Nick, you would become frightened, but I believe because you're raging, you can't become frightened. Isn't that correct? Isn't that part of rage?
I don't know if Relentless Rage unlocks at level 3.
Okay. Let's see.
You can look that up.
Yeah. No, that's beginning at 6th level. Yep. Okay, you are correct. That was close. So at this point, you now have the frightened condition. Same as the web condition, you can roll a DC 10 check at the beginning of your turn to overcome this. And this one's going to be a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Dave, I'm sorry, what did Maggie roll?
11.
11. Oh, I keep asking you guys that. I keep forgetting that this thing is here. Okay, so you also become frightened. And again, what this means, you can't move any closer to this creature. And you suffer disadvantage on attacks, and attackers gain advantage on you when they attack you. He's a big, scary mofo. So I believe you said Venadia has the next highest dexterity score, correct? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so then it's going to be your turn, Mr. Nick. It's going to be weird for me saying Nick and Nick. I'm going to have to come up with, like, names for it. So at this point, you're behind
You can
this
just
thing.
refer to me in character.
Okay. Do my best.
If it makes it easier.
Yeah, it does to some extent. I will
what
say...
what do you need me to roll now?
Well, now it's your turn. Because you have been hunting this creature, and you knew about this creature's existence, you are not frightened by it. We'll even say that you had had some sort of a magical protection placed upon you to prevent you from becoming frightened by this specific creature. Being that that was your task, was to track this creature and find out its intentions. So, we'll say that you've been tracking this for several weeks, and you've followed it now through this portal. And so, it hasn't actually noticed your presence yet.
Okay. So I want to decide to either keep it that way or make some move on it.
That's entirely up to you. Here's the best part about D&D is it's all your decision from here on. And if you have any questions too, I can answer them as we go.
What other surroundings can I see in the room here? I can't tell too much from my screen because it's on the phone screen. I'm not zoomed in very far.
Okay. So you're about.
But I see. Go ahead.
You're about 5 feet away from this creature, and this creature you know to be a Neogi. This is what it was called, and it is it's a Fey aberration. It exists on the Fey plane. You've studied these for quite a while, being that it was your mission. You know that these things are particularly nasty. If I can get my stats back up here. They are spellcasters, and you've seen them cast spells with great ease. They and not a few spells either. They know a lot of spells. They also, you know, are vicious hand-to-hand combatants with their bite and claw attacks. And you've also seen them able to command lesser creatures, such as these Choldriths before. So you're pretty sure that they're some sort of like enslaved beast that they've kind of garnered as like their bodyguards or something. So there's 2 of the Choldriths. One is probably, let's see how far away he is from you. Let's see, he's right around 25-30 feet away from you. The Neogi's only about 5 feet away, and the other Choldrith is probably about 20 feet, if I had to guess. Pretty close to it.
Okay, and so I have no cover near me.
Nope, you stepped
Really,
out basically
not
right behind him in a blank room.
Well, I think what I'd like to do is, what would I roll for insight to try to see what sort of weaknesses I might see in this creature from this unique perspective I have right behind it?
So you can roll an insight check and see. So in order to do that, you just, well, on the D&D Beyond thing, I think you just literally go down and click it. So you go to your skills, and then go down to...
Right, I see it there.
Insight, yep.
Alright, so I'll click that. And I rolled a 14, which leaves me at 15.
Okay. So you can tell that there are several areas around its waist. Oops. Here we go, 1 second. So, like, several areas around its waist through here that, it seems like its chitinous shell kind of has gaps in it, and you're fairly certain that those are the areas where, like, there is soft flesh available. So you can, at this point, if you make an attack on it, I will give you advantage on the attack.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is, since I'm 5 feet behind it and it hasn't detected this might be my best opportunity to strike. For all I know, I might not get a better shot.
And just so that you have all your tools available to you and you know what you can do, you have all of your movement that you can move on your turn. You also can make one action and one bonus action generally. I'll allow the insight check as the bonus action for this turn, so you still have one action available and your full movement, or every player can take the dash action essentially on their turn, and do their full movement a second time. So you actually, whatever your movement is, if you don't do anything else, you can double it and do whatever you do with that.
Okay, so if I want to attack, am I within range where I'm standing, or?
If you want to attack with your weapon, your melee weapon, which whatever short sword you got, yeah, you are free.
Sword and a dagger, and the small spaces that I might be best to try to slip the dagger and attack with that.
Okay. So if you would like to make an attack, you are certainly close enough to do that without using. We'll say that, I mean, like I said, you were right on his heels. Like, you were like shadow walking him essentially because you saw that portal open and you went, I might not get a chance to go through it again. So you chased right through, kind of recklessly, but you came out without him having any clue you're there. So you're gonna roll with advantage on that, and then take the high. Like, that means that you roll the d20 twice, and then you'll take the higher of 2 results.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there a mechanic for the advantage on there, Nick? On the D20?
You just click the button twice.
You just click it twice, right? Okay, and take the higher result.
And then you take the higher. Yeah.
Yep.
So which would I click? Just select the d20, or should I just actually pick one of these? Because I have.
So if you go to actions and then attack, there should be like a plus, plus whatever your thing is to hit. So if you're using a strength-based weapon, it'd be whatever your strength modifier is, plus your proficiency bonus. So if you have a +1 strength modifier, and at level 4 you have a +2 proficiency, it'd probably be +3 to hit.
Yep, it looks like
so
plus.
that's like +3 there.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And I do that twice, you said.
Yep, do it twice and give me the higher result.
Wow. Okay, so I rolled, I got an 8 and a 7, so an 8.
Okay.
And that's the total number.
Rolls.
So your higher attack, the 8, that's the one that we take. That's one attack action that you just made with the 2 rolls. So you are not able to hit him with that. He has, even though you had the advantage on it because you were able to aim kind of for the soft spots, he probably just twisted the wrong way, and your dagger just kind of thunks off from the back side of him. Fortunately for you, he doesn't really seem to notice that you're there still. Like, it's almost like his chitin armor is so thick that he just thought it was more chitin armor bouncing off from him. Like, just kind of clattering together. So would you like to move? You still have your full movement available, and he is still unaware of your position.
No, I think I want to stay put where I am.
Okay.
And not alert his suspicions.
All right. Okay, so that'll bring us to the end of your turn, and Maggie, that brings us up to you.
All right. So she's like, can she see past that door?
Yeah, I mean, you're free to, like, I give you 5 feet of kind of like free movement around your tokens just based on the wonkiness of Tabletop Simulator. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
So we can say that you're somewheres like that or whatever.
Right, and she can't, or in order to approach, you would have to first roll to overcome fear.
That is correct. To get any closer to the Neogi.
So she's gonna cast. She's gonna cast Bless. I guess on herself, Tohan, and
let me get a little bit bigger for you.
Like rolling to get to escape fear would. That's a saving throw, right?
It is a saving throw. Yep.
Okay, so she's gonna cast Bless on herself, Tohan, and Munli.
Okay.
Which, whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw. And as her bonus action, she's gonna cast the spiritual weapon, so whips out a big old spiritual cast iron pan.
Nice.
And I assume he also doesn't have line of sight on the what's it called?
A Neogi.
The Neogi.
No, because the altar and the Choldrith are still kind of blocking it.
Yeah. Okay, so she casts this frying pan and it's hurled towards the Choldrith.
Okay. That can travel how far? 20 feet?
60 feet. Yeah, so the initial one is a 60-foot throw, and then after that it's 30 feet, I think. Or 20 feet after that.
Alright, so just for, we'll call this our frying pan.
Actually, how does this work? Like, if she knows that the creature's there, she can cast it anywhere within 60 feet. So she could cast it right next to the thing that you just said the name of. I already forgot.
The Neogi.
Is it right? Neogi.
Yeah, she could cast it literally anywhere's. Let's see.
Within.
So
yeah, it just says
60 feet would be 12 of these squares. So yeah, she can pretty much hit this whole room with it if she wants, wherever.
Okay.
The room's probably about 40 feet.
So it'll basically land right between the Choldrith and the Neogi.
Okay.
And then it's the melee spell. So roll for melee with disadvantage, right?
Well, normally I would say yes, but since you are not directly in contact with the creature and it's your frying pan, I think that it's more of a reaction type spell. Like, it's like you cast it and it just kind of automatically happens after you cast it for an attack, right?
Yeah.
If not, I'll say it is, because we can do that. It's cool.
That's my understanding, is that, like, yeah, it's
kind of like an automated thing, right? Like, the way I understand
Right.
spiritual weapon to be is like your ancestors have formed themselves into this weapon for you in order to allow you to perform these ghost-like attacks. So it's kind of like an auto-powered attack. So
and
the
it's
fear
not
wouldn't be a factor.
Shaking spell, so yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for attack then.
Okay. Cool.
You get to attack the turn it comes in, right? It says.
Say it again.
I said I believe you get to attack the turn it comes in.
Yeah, you're right.
This isn't Magic the Gathering. There's no summoning spells.
Sorry, I have to relearn this every time. But where do I find fire for? So this should be I have a +4 modifier and +6 spell attack. Is it the +6 that I add to the d20?
You add the +6 to the d20 for your attack. Yep. Yeah, modifier is for a non-attack spell. It's like if you were.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's 23.
23. Okay,
Gotcha.
That's a hit.
So it's 23, and I'm sorry, you said yes or no to the disadvantage. You said no to disadvantage.
Yeah, don't worry about the disadvantage because you're not directly trying to attack this thing.
Okay.
Like, you're just kind of summoning the spell and letting it do its thing.
Alright.
It's a very good use of that spell.
Yeah. Cool. And 1d8 plus spellcasting ability modifier. So that's 7 plus 4, so 11 damage.
All right. And again, now the Neogi kind of looks towards you slowly, rolls his head kind of at this odd angle, and again you hear that voice, that like this really deep kind of just guttural language, and you're still not sure what he's saying, but you're sure it's nothing good. It's probably calling your mother something. Did you want to move away at all?
My mother's calling him something, that's for sure. No, she'll stay where she is.
Stay where she is. Okay.
If anything, just make sure that she's positioned kind of in the way of Ariane.
Gotcha. Okay, so Munley was after you, so we're gonna have him roll for his thingamabobber there for his fear and see if he can get over it. What is his wisdom? +2.
And he's got an extra D4 since he's left.
Excellent. Okay. So what did we come up with here? Can't see what that is under the thing. What'd I roll? Alright, so 11 plus a D4 that I still gotta roll. Seven, 4, that's 15. So he beats it. Yeah, he would have beat it even without it, actually. Right. Disadvantage on ability checks, not on saving throws. Okay, so he is no longer frightened. He has composed himself enough. That takes his action for the turn to do so. But because he has composed himself, he is going to charge in headlong into the room to try to help Toan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to say he stops right there. He's going to push right up with Toan against this guy. And I believe that is his turn, unless he has any other bonus actions that he can do. I don't think he has anything at the moment. Actions. Does he have a bonus action?
Unless he wants to use his action surge to attack.
You know, I would think at this point Munley is embarrassed. So yeah, he probably would. I feel like he would be like, "Oh man, I didn't want those guys to see me being scared." So we'll say he attacks with his short sword then, and gets a whopping, not much. 3 plus whatever his
plus.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 plus 5. It's an 8 to hit.
And this is also
does not hit. Oh, he's blessed also, isn't he? So we got to roll another D4. That's right. So he was at an 8. He gets to add.
It's a mixed blessing.
4.
Another thing you have to remember.
I get it. Mixed blessing. All right, so that makes it a 12. And that is still... Oh, wait, that's a Childreth, not the Neogi. So that might actually hit, I believe. Because I think that's what they are. Nope, they are also 15. So he tries, but it does not succeed to hit the Childreth. And now it's going to come... Normally, we'll say it would go to the Gif. The Gif, however, seeing your guys' reactions, has promptly turned around and begun to run his way back out towards the stairs. He was like, F this, I'm out. He wants no part of whatever is going down there. Hey, Mr. Shambling Mound, how'd you make your way over there? Get out of here. You don't belong there. That was me.
Trying to ignore that.
That was me playing with all the other figures that were left over after your guys' last part of your adventure. I was like, yeah, and then this happened, and then this happened. It was fun. Told the story to myself. It's what I do when no one's looking. It's awesome. Alright, that brings it back to the Childreths. Alright, so he's already fired his web, so he's got to wait to do that again. He can't do that again for like 5 to 6 rounds. He is going to cast Guidance on himself, giving him an extra D4, same thing on attack rolls. And he's going to swing at Munley. Let's see, +4 to hit. I'm just going to use Munley's roller. d20. Rolling a d20 plus 4. And I can't see it. Where is it? Why does it land down there? Alright, I'm going to redo that because I can't see the friggin' dice. What? Alright. Keeps landing in the corner. I'll use this dice. There. Alright, 12 plus 4 is a 16 to hit, which I don't know if it will hit Munley or not. Let's see, where is his armor class? Ability save senses, AC, where is it? No, it's up here someplace, right? Nope. His armor class. Where is the armor class on these sheets? I do not remember.
Should be right up at the top.
Yeah, on the ability saves.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. You got 12 plus 4. He barely hits. All right. So he's gonna roll his damage, which is. Where's his damage? That 24 plus 3. All right. Maybe I will just use my regular dice. They're faster. D4 ski. I have a D4 somewhere. Ooh. Alright, so he does 6 damage to Munley. It's the first time I've had to track Munley's hit points. Nick's been taking care of him this whole time, pretty much. Features and traits, hit points. Oh, there we go. Hit points down, down, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apply changes. Haha. Got it. Alright, so he's taken a hit. The other Choldrith, acting on the same initiative, is now going to fire his web at Munley. Let's see if he hits. 12 plus 5, I said. 12 plus 5, 17. That also hits, so Munley is now webbed. He is immobilized, or whatever it was. Restrained, that's the word I was looking for. So he's going to have to make one of those fancy pants strength saving throws. That brings it back to Tohan.
Oh, I think you're muted.
I can't hear you.
Oh, am I?
Oh, alright. Is that better? Sorry.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm still feared. So if I attack with disadvantage?
That is correct. And you can't move
But
any.
if I recklessly, or he's engaged with someone right now, does that mean I would get advantage, or would I need to recklessly attack to gain advantage?
So, advantage and disadvantage will cancel each other out. If you recklessly attack, you will then regain advantage. So you would have advantage if you reckless attack, otherwise it'll be a straight attack.
I'm going to recklessly attack then.
Okay. You do that.
So that is a 26 to hit, so which would be 24 plus 2 for my plus.
That definitely hits. Yeah, you guys have both, these guys have both been hit directly on their armor class at this point. It's a 15 is the target AC that you guys are shooting for, just to speed up combat a little bit.
It's going to be 12 damage because I'm raging, so it gets plus
damage.
2 to damage.
Okay, he is now bloodied, or very close to it. So, Nick, when I say something is bloodied, it usually means they're around half hit points or so. very bloodied means they're around a quarter or so of their hit points. It's just a way to kind of track the relative health without kind of giving away the fucking whole thing. Because if I'm like, he's got this many left, you guys can really needle in on it.
Right. Okay.
So one reckless attack in. You're still raged, right, Nick? Or Tohan, sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm still raging.
Okay, so go ahead and continue.
I think that's all I can do. I only get one attack at level 3.
Oh.
So, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I could move, but I'm gonna stay right there. That's fine.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, you can't move any closer, but you can stand your ground and keep fighting. Absolutely. Okay,
Yep.
so that brings that turn to an end, and next I believe was a Wraith.
Neogi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a Wraith, and then the Neogi and and you two, all at the same time.
Alright, I will cast Chaos Bolt again at the children on the altar.
Okay. At this point, Munley is standing right in your way, essentially, to do that without hitting him.
Oh, okay. Wait, sorry, hold on, let
That's
me
okay.
take that back. Alright, disregard that roll I just did.
I mean, you can do it, but Munley's not gonna like it.
No, I don't want to hit one. Shit, I don't have much options, do I? Unless I move in more, huh?
Yeah,
Alright,
that is
let-
accurate.
let me move. Can I move just into the doorway?
Mm-hmm.
How many feet will that be of my movement?
That is going to be about 10 feet or so of your movement if you get right in there. That will give you line of sight on the one that's still standing on the wall. And actually, that will probably give you line of sight on the Neogi as well. Trying to get a decent view for you guys here.
Let me. So I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at the Childress that's hanging up there.
Okay.
And then hold on, let me roll for that. Since that other one was for the other. An 8.
An 8 does not hit.
Alright. I move back out of range.
Just back kind of to where you were.
Yeah.
Okay. A little snap shooting. It's like you're playing paintball. Alright. So, if there's nothing else you'd like to do on your turn, that's going to bring it to the Neogi, I believe. Let's see. What is he going to do this turn? Let's see. Alright, seeing that a spellcaster has entered the fray, the Neogi points directly towards the door where you're standing. He takes a step forward, but he can't really get around Agamemnon's spiritual weapon, so he's just going to kind of go over to here a little bit to try to get a shot at you. No, actually, he doesn't really have a shot at you if he does that. Scratch that. He's going to step around the weapons to right here, and he's going to try to take a Eldritch Blast at Munley, who is standing directly in front of him now. Which means that he's going to be rolling... New tab. So many tabs open. Alright, Eldritch Blast.
Will that mean that Vanidia gets an attack of opportunity on him?
Absolutely. So, would you, while I'm looking at these stats, would you like to explain the attack of opportunity thing to Vanidia? I gotta get that written down so that I stop mispronouncing it.
Okay. Because they left your immediate range there, Venedia can get a reaction attack against a target that's leaving it. So you can basically just make a melee attack against them if you want, for free. So,
At what
so you
point?
just roll a d20 plus your melee attack modifier.
Yep.
Nick.
And that happens. That happens like right now. Like as soon as that creature moves, you can say, "Do I get an opportunity to attack?" Yes, you do. And you go ahead and make that roll.
So how do I add a modifier to it?
You should be able to just click where it says +3 next to the weapon that you're using. So.
Okay. Alright, so I'll go to my actions and then just hit the +3.
Yep.
Cool. So I rolled a 9, so 12.
Okay. Still doesn't hit. Now, however, when you swing, the thing turns and kind of looks at you, and now he realizes that you're there. Actually, you know what? He didn't know you were there still. I'll give you advantage one more time on that. So go ahead and roll one more to make up your 2 dice roll. Because I forgot that he still didn't realize you were there.
Right. So that is 14.
Still doesn't hit. Oof. Yeah, he's a tough bastard.
Okay.
But yeah, now he just kind of looks over at you and he does one of those like just hisses. But
Nice.
turns back to Munley and casts his Eldritch Blast at him, which I gotta find his spell attack modifier, which is 3. Okay, so 20 plus 3. He rolls 14. It's 14 at Munley. AC. 14 does not hit Munley, so a blast of green flame comes blasting out of the tips of his fingers and kind of swirls around into this almost sideways tornado. But Munley turns at the last second and it kind of breezes off from his rifle that's hanging on his back, off the steel of the rifle, and doesn't do any damage to him at all. Lucky bastard. Never gonna get to kill an NPC. Never. Oh. That is the Neogi's turn. That brings it back to Venedia. Am I saying that right? Is it Venedia?
Think of like the element vanadium, but just Venedia.
Dude, I
was thinking
I totally flunked chemistry.
Canadian.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Canadia, Venedia. Got it. Done. That works. That's more my speed.
Okay. So the Neogi moved away from me, correct?
Correct. He is about 7 or so feet away, ish.
Okay, so just out of melee.
Yeah, you'd have to move about 5 feet. Your movement, you can split your movement too. You can move that 5 feet, hit him, and then move the rest of your movement. That is acceptable.
Right. Okay.
I should say, but if you do that, then he gets an opportunity attack as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think. There is a rule for this called disengage. You can take an action to say, I'm going to disengage, which basically means you're going to fight your way out of fighting him to not get hit while you're running away, and then that counts as your action for the turn. But that's more for future reference than right now, just so you guys, again, have all your tools at your disposal.
Got it, okay. Also, under bonus actions, what's two-weapon fighting? How does that work?
Okay, so two-weapon fighting is... Let's see if I can get to it here. So when you have a weapon in your offhand, like you have a short sword and a dagger, and I'm assuming, for the sake of this, that you've had both of them drawn because you were chasing a big fucking scary monster. So it means that you make your main attack with your main weapon, and then as a bonus action, instead of anything else, you can use that to then do another attack with your offhand weapon. So like if you're doing sword and dagger, you attack with your sword first, then attack with your dagger. Or if your dagger was your main weapon and you wanted to use your sword as your secondary, that's fine too.
Okay, so that would be in place of moving away or something?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes, because is disengage a bonus action? I think it is, actually.
Alright.
Oh no, disengage is a regular action, so it counts.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would either be able to attack or disengage in a situation like that. Right now you're not engaged with him though, because he moved away from you.
Okay, so what I was asking is if I do the bonus action of hitting with the dagger, do I still have the portion of my turn to use up the rest of my movement?
Yes, that you can still do. Movement is always separate from all your actions.
Okay.
Like you're sort of given a free movement action, and then you can use an action to increase your movement. Is the way it sort of works.
Okay, so I think that's the plan. I'm gonna move in. I'm gonna hit with both weapons, and then I'm gonna move back out.
All right. So we're gonna move you in. I'm gonna take grid snap off from this so I don't keep tipping things over here. There. Getting close to him. All right, so you're in there. Go ahead and make your attack roll. This one is not with advantage. This is just a regular roll.
Right. Short sword first, right?
Sure. You can make that choice.
Okay. All right, so I got a 10 for that.
Okay, so it doesn't hit.
And I got 22 with the dagger.
Hooray.
Okay, so that hits. So go ahead and roll. Now, with damage, you just click the damage box right next to the dagger.
Got it. All right, so I got 5 for that.
Okay.
Nikki, you can always action search too if you wanted, and basically just take another short sword attack it, like one time between the long rest.
Oh, okay.
If you ever wanted to do that, I was just looking at your character, but.
Cool. All right. All right, and then I'm gonna move. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Can you put your cursor over where I am just so I can be sure?
Here, I'll zoom him right in for you. So it's like you're there, he's there, and then back up just a little bit.
And then trying to see where everyone else is
All
too.
right. So you've got the Choldrith is about probably 10 feet away. And then pretty much like the back side of the room is wide open. And Tohan and Munley are just on the other side of the Choldrith from you. And also Maggie's flying frying pan. That's such a great image. I love that. It's just floating around.
I just looked it up, by the way. It doesn't have any physical substance, so I think it could be just like walked right through.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I actually know this because it happened in a game that I watched. A spiritual weapon will not allow an enemy to pass through. Like it's only a creature that you are willing to let pass through it. Is how that works.
Huh.
Hooray for being a nerd! Again, with the idea that's your spiritual ancestors guarding you. You know, they want to help you out. They're gonna do everything in their power to help you.
Thanks, guys.
Right? It's good to be a cleric.
Yeah.
So.
Where
Okay,
would
so
Vanidia
I
like to
think
move?
I'd like to dart over to be sort of over next to our other adventurers over here, so that we can continue to fight
All right,
with strength in numbers.
you got it. So let's say 1, 2, 3. You got plenty of movement to get. You want to go all the way around to get right next to Tohan? Like right over here?
Yeah, well, right around there is kind of where I was thinking.
Okay. So plop you down. Let's see, what is your passive perception? Where is it on here? That is under Believe save senses, right? 13. So as you're running over, you do notice something. Underneath this Choldrith, And I did mention this before, but there is a large red glowing gem that it is literally just going and humming with power. Also, directly behind you, well, as you're running over, you see this thing right here. See where that arrow is? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So, there is a coffin that's been thrown on top of another coffin that is open, and in that other coffin that is open, if I can get my window to work here. Come on, taskbar. Give me a taskbar on one of my 3 frickin' screens, because I've already got the file open. You see a glint of metal that is in there that appears to be some sort of a bladed weapon. And it looks very shiny and very pretty, and just instantly attracts your eye to it as you're making your way over. And that will be the end of your turn, but you do notice that.
Okay.
So next would be Maggie, Miss Megamemnon.
So Maggie can take an action to try to become unfrightened, right?
Yes. Action or a bonus? I believe it's a fun action. Let me check the stat sheet here. Find it. I lost my shoulder. Yes, it is a regular action.
Okay. So she'll do that.
Okay, so
that's a wisdom roll.
To become unfrightened, correct? Yes.
Yeah. It's wisdom.
Yep, wisdom. So you roll a d20, add your wisdom modifier.
Gotcha. That's a 20.
Okay, yeah.
Well, and then including the bless is going to be more than that.
Okay, so it was a natural 20 though, right?
No, it was 16 plus 4, and then I just rolled another 4 with the bless, so it's
okay.
4.
So you are no longer frightened. On a natural 20, I was going to say you would be no longer frightened for the remainder of this battle. You have overcome your fear at that point.
Oh yeah. That'd be awesome. Well, an unnatural 20.
Dirty 20, they call it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, dirty 20. Yes, he is though, and then use that that pan again. I guess on the Neogi still.
Okay, and that that's your bonus action, right, for that spell? Where's this spell?
Yep.
Okay.
And I guess she might as well move it if it's acting as a barrier in some way. She's gonna move it to like kind of like on my screen it would be like 1 square right, basically. Like just try to keep it between the Neogi and other stuff.
Gotcha.
And other people
over there. Okay.
Yep. So. Alright, so she rolled a 15 for attack, and then plus 4.
15 will hit, yep.
Okay, cool. 18 altogether, actually.
Okay.
And let's see. And that is a 7 damage.
Alright.
Right in the chops.
Alright. So that was for the Neogi, correct? And they both have an AC of 15.
And yeah, I guess. Say it again.
I was just making sure you were hitting the purple guy.
The Neogi, yep.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, she's trying to basically like not give that third Childreth the line of sight on her.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, again, like stay between Arianth and the rest of the room.
Okay. You got it. So just kind of stay posted in the doorway here.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. That's gonna bring it back to Munley, correct? Yes. Okay. This time, let's see. He already used his action surge once, right? Yes. What's he got? So he's still got a grip point right now. Alright, Munley is going to attempt to do a Deadeye shot against the Neogi. Let's see that shot. Let's go. So he spends his last grip point that he has still to gain advantage on this roll. Where's his attacks again? Attacks, actions, attack. With his revolver. Bloop, there's one. That is no. Oh, is that a? That's a B, isn't it? Is that a nat 20? That is a nat 20. Okay. So, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't really need to roll a second time, I guess. So let's see. I guess we just roll damage twice then. Normally with advantage or with a crit like that, it would be roll double the dice. Oh, it factors it in for you. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, that's super cool. I was just gonna be like, you would roll double the dice and then add the modifier, and it just did it for me. That's so freaking neat. Ah, I just nerded out really hard. Sorry, guys. Okay, so he does 15 points of damage to the Neogi. The Neogi is now bloodied.
Okay. Get in there.
Just levels that. He just levels his one revolver and just a blast of fire comes out of it, right square into the thing's chest. And he is not frightened. Not frightened at the moment. He's already frightened once. Does he have a bonus action? I keep clicking on the wrong thing here and rolling stuff around. He's the NPC I made. You'd think that I would know if he has a bonus action. Oh, he also has 2-weapon fighting, doesn't he? He has second wind. He's also got 2-weapon fighting, so he would be able to take a bonus action as well to make a second attack. So he's going to fire with his revolver a second time at it, and not hit. Boo. Boo, Munley. All right, that brings it back to the Childreths. Right? Yes. So at this point, what I do is find that guy again. Right there. This time, the one that's on the wall, he's going to skitter along to the doorway now. He knows you guys have been popping in and banging away on his friends here, so he's going to drop himself right down in front of the doorway. In front of the doorway that's still there. Ta-da! There. Ah, I think it's gonna do it. This is how wonky the Tabletop Simulator can be at times. These guys have seen it. What was it that happened the one day when when I went to do something and like half the table just kind of flew apart. That was fun. Okay, so he plops himself down there.
Phil's character just disappeared.
Yeah, just disappeared. I found him later too, by the way. He was hiding with the kobolds. It was awesome. I was like, oh, so that makes sense too for a hobbit. Just kind of wandered off. He's going to expend a second level spell slot, and he's going to attempt to cast Hold Person. Let's see. Let's open this up. Hold Person. So he takes from somewhere in a belt pouch a small piece of iron and holds it up, squeezes it hard, and you begin to see a small light glow from it. And he's targeting you, Maggie. So let's see. You must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration.
Alright. Oh no. Roll do all the additions matter? So it's 1 plus 4 for wisdom and plus the d4. So 7 altogether.
Yes, I gotta find his spellcasting modifier because it should say it on here someplace and I don't see it. Oh, I'm not looking at the right thing. That's why. That's my fault. Wisdom. Where's his wisdom score? So, his wisdom, his spellcasting modifier is a 14, which means you make the save because it's at or above that you make the save. So, you make it, but barely.
Wait, I said 7. Am I doing this right? So I rolled 1 for wisdom plus my 4 modifier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at Mudley's roll. I didn't realize that. Whoops. I didn't actually see the save in game log.
So it's now 1 plus 5 wisdom modifier, or plus 4 wisdom modifier, plus 3 from the d4 plus.
Okay. Well, nat 1 in general always kind of tends to fail.
Right.
So, yes, you do fail the wisdom. So you suddenly you find your limbs are heavy and hard and you can't move them and you are essentially a living statue now until you are able to if I can go back to Hold Person spell here. At the end of each of your turns, you can make another wisdom saving throw, and on a success, it will end the target. So that wisdom saving throw is going to be a 14 that you're going to have to hit.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Yeah, these guys are brutal. There's a reason it's a boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, like I say, you guys are doing very well.
Does that bring that doesn't break concentration, does it?
It doesn't say that you aren't. Yeah, it doesn't say you're not thinking still, so I'll give it to you. I'll let you keep concentration. Like, you're a statue, but you can still think, geez, I want my frying pan to hit shit.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a paralyzed condition, which doesn't affect your concentration.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your brain, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Admittedly, some of these answers I have to guess at, and I'll look them up later and let you know. But best guess is generally
the spiritual weapon is not even a concentration spell, but bless is so.
Well, that's because your ancestors are doing all the concentrating for you. That's why. Alright, so that Choldrith has now moved. The other Choldrith is just going to swing at Venetia with his dagger. Which is a plus, I said 5, yes. Over here. Where is it? Plus. That's plus 5, okay. Oh, I forgot to load my awesome music into the thing too. I'll have to do that in a couple minutes here. Okay, so 17 plus 5, that's going to be a hit, I'm assuming, on Venetia, right? 20, 2. Should hit your armor class.
Is that the one that's poisoned, or?
Oh, yes, you're right. He has disadvantage. Good call. I almost forgot. Disadvantage on attack rolls, and so yeah, he's got to roll a second time and try and do at least that good. Okay, you're in luck. He gets a 2 plus 5, so that's a 7. So I'm assuming that does not hit. Nope, armor class of 15, so he doesn't hit. And that brings it to Tohan. Thank you for reminding me.
Tohan's gonna recklessly attack this spider person in front of me. He doesn't do a lot of things. This is mostly what he does.
I picture this being a very Indiana Jones thing too, like I hate spiders. Like.
I rolled a nat 20 on my first one.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Sweet.
So that is going to be 20 damage because it's plus 2 more because I'm raging.
Tohan's a beast. Okay, he is now very bloodied. Alright. Are you staying posted right there, Nick?
Yeah, I'm still afraid, so I can't really move much more.
Gotcha. Well, you're only afraid of the Neogi right now. You're not afraid of the Choldrith or the other Choldrith, so you are free to move back and forth between, as long as it's away from the Neogi, essentially, just so you know.
Yeah. No, I'll stay posted right there until that
Gotcha.
spider person's dead.
Alright, so after that is going
This
to
is
be...
the one on the altar, right?
I'm sorry, what's that?
We're talking about the one on the altar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, actually, what I can do is I can put maybe a little description in there, and we'll say he is very bloodied. First I did it on the wrong stat, but it's still very bloodied, so that's cool. Yep. And we'll say very bloodied. The other guy, however, has taken no damage, and the Neogi is just bloodied right now. There. We know what. We got one that's bloodied, and then one that is not bloodied, or one that's not bloody down here. Yep, Arianth, your turn. You know, you are now face to face almost with this Choldrith that's standing there, just hulking his arms in front of you, holding his dagger.
I will cast Chaos Hold at the children's right there.
Nice.
Get it.
Ouch. Damn. Natural 1 plus 5, so 6 to hit.
Okay, so that's a miss. Natural 1s on attack rolls always miss. Natural 20s always hit. That's a solid rule. Like that doesn't ever change for attack rolls. Saving throws and stuff, there's a little more leniency.
The dice have not been kind to me the last 2 turns.
See that.
It still counts as a slot when you miss like that, right?
Yes, it does. Yep, you expend the slot.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. This side.
Would you like to move at all?
Alright, I will, yes, actually, I'd like to, move back away towards the, other door, back to the, left towards that other doorway there. Kind of out of sight of the, children's hopefully.
Gotcha. Just before the door, or did you want to go through it?
Yeah. No, right there.
Okay. Just far enough away that he can't really get to you. Gotcha. Alright. Let's see. And that brings it back to the Neogi. The Neogi... let's see. What does he want to do? Let's see. The Neogi, he turns, muttering an incantation in that guttural language that he used earlier. And again, you see in this area over here, where these arrows are, a portal begin to open up again. Go. And that is his turn. It looks like perhaps he's getting ready to flee, because he is very, very hurt. And these are not unintelligent creatures, as you would know, Venadia. Having tracked them, you know that these are something akin to the intelligence of, like, the raptors in Jurassic Park movies. Like, they are animalistic, but they are still very intelligent to the point of absurdity, almost, where it's like you wouldn't think it by looking at them, but they are kind of nasty smart. You also would probably recognize, based on you having tracked these guys, that this is a common tactic for them to sick their slaves sort of on everybody, and if they become hurt at any point too badly, they will leave. They'll try and get away from whatever it is that's attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Neogi's turn. So it is now Venadia's turn.
Okay. So if I were to grab something in my vicinity, is that my action for the turn?
No, you have what's called a free action that's not really distinctly described on the character sheet, but free action is like anything that's kind of carte blanche, like drawing a weapon, like once. You know what I mean? Like anything within reason. Like you can't, okay, well I'm going to infinitely draw my weapon and put it back then, because that's a free action. You know, like within reason, you can pretty much like grab something if it's within reach. You can talk to people, things like that. Those are all considered free actions. Kind of just done through role play.
So that that blade weapon that I saw, that's right behind me.
That is, yep, literally, like you could reach down and grab it without having to move.
Right. I'm gonna reach down and grab it.
Okay. As you do so, as soon as I find which tab I have it on. Oh, so many tabs. Right there, no. As you do, you realize this is a very, very nice dagger. Much nicer than the one that you're using currently. And it gives off sort of an iridescent kind of reddish glow to it. Like as you grab it, it almost lights up in your hand, like very dimly, but it seems to kind of have its own light to it.
Cool. So I would like to move between the Neogi and the portal.
Okay.
First. Like right in front of the Neogi, but blocking it from the portal.
Gotcha. I will do my best. These portal things are a little weird. Move him back the portal just a little bit. Room here. Yeah, that's the problem with 3D colliders. So we'll say you're directly in front of them.
Okay.
You does zoom out.
Yeah, he flies all around for a minute.
All right.
There we go.
So
That's
I'm
pretty
gonna
close.
sneak around for a little while.
I'm sorry. What was that?
All right. So so I think I'm going to do this action surge. I think I can click to just say I'm using. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I want to strike with the short sword and then this shiny new dagger
Okay.
that I just found.
Well, you still have an attack this turn. So you took a free action, you moved, so you still have an attack and a bonus action right now. So
Right.
you can do that without having to spend your action surge, and then you could spend it afterwards.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, man, I absolutely hate those colliders. So yeah, you do that. So go ahead and make your first attack roll with your sword then. So I get a new thing out here.
Okay, I end up with 9 for that.
Okay. The 9 is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try it. We're gonna see if sirloin works a little bit better for your figure here. Not even a little bit. Okay, well, keep in mind you're in front of there. I'll figure it out in a second here. So we're not not getting delay of game. Oop. There we go. That looks right. My OCD was kicking in.
Cool.
So for your bonus action, go ahead and attack with the dagger. But I'm going to give you a. If I can find it again. It's in session 7 in RPG stuff. Yes. RPG stuff in section 7. There we go. Let me let you know what that dagger does. Okay. This is called, well, it's a vicious weapon, we'll say. It's actually what it's labeled as. So you look at it, and you look at this vicious dagger, and you realize that if you make contact with this thing, it's going to do a massive amount of, well, some extra damage. So when you hit with a crit on this, in addition to doubling your dice and adding your modifier, you are now allowed to roll an additional 2d6 of damage. So the dagger's total damage would be 2d6, 1d4. Right? Dagger is 1d4 plus whatever your damage modifier is when you do a normal attack.
It's like
It's a really sharp dagger, essentially.
So I'm gonna use the same +3 to roll for that one then.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't give you any bonus to your attack, just on the damage when you do hit.
I got 17 for that.
Okay. That hits.
Nice. So now I'm gonna hit the dagger first. The damage roll for the dagger first. Is that right?
Yep.
And then add the 2d6 to that.
Yep. Yeah, it's exactly like your dagger in every way, except for the extra 2d6 damage, essentially. That makes it easy.
So I rolled a 3, and then I got 6. So so 9.
Okay, 9 damage. Alright. This thing is hurting. He is on his last leg at this point. Looks like a stiff breeze would blow him over. And then you still have a... did you want to use your action surge? And gain one more...
Yeah, if it's on the ropes there, I might as well.
Close this guy down.
So I'm gonna swing again with that dagger, I think.
Okay.
So I got 13 with that swing.
All right, that swing is a miss. Like, he felt the first one and he got out of the way of the second one, it sounds like. Alright, so that brings your turn to an end. Which all of my stuff goes. That one popped up. Okay. That brings it to Megamemnon. It is now your turn.
Just does Maggie know whether or not? I mean, I'm assuming that portal that's opened is it's like a spell that was cast. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, he cast some sort of a spell and it sort of popped into existence. It looked like a doorway of some sort, perhaps to another dimension, like a dimensional doorway.
Gotcha. Okay, so Maggie's gonna cast Command at level 2. She's gonna say to the Neogi and the Childreth that cast the spell on her, the spell, and they have to succeed a wisdom. They have to succeed a wisdom saving throw of 14.
Okay, that is all 3 of them do, right?
It's just the one that casts the spell on her, and then the Neogi. So the other one, she's at level 2. She's able to command 2 creatures.
Gotcha.
At 1, she's able to command 1 creature. So
you said wisdom throw of 14. Let's see. Wisdom is +1 and wisdom is 2. Okay. So the Neogi rolls a nat 20, +1, so he passes his. See, can you guys see that? The Childreth, I'm gonna roll for.
just laugh at her like she's an
I'll
idiot.
actually ask you. You said the Childreth that's closest to you, right? Like this guy here. Okay.
Yep.
He rolls an 18 +2.
Yeah.
So that's also a pass. So they are not willing to be commanded by you. They probably scoff at you in that guttural language that they were speaking in.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. She's like, worth a try, and then smacks the Neogi in the face again with the
Nice.
the frying pan.
Alright.
So it's 20 + 6. Oh, that's a 10. Probably misses.
He's actually engaged with Venadia right now,
Oh,
so you would get advantage on that roll.
Oh, I also forgot about the blood. Oh, it's 12. Should I reroll?
Yeah, 12 still wouldn't have hit him. He's got a 15 for an armor class.
Okay. Okay, this one will hit. So that's 18 + 6, 24, so I assume the d4 doesn't matter.
Correct.
But it's 27 altogether.
Okay, go ahead and roll for damage.
So,
I get the feeling that this guy is about to go kaputski.
alright, that is that's a 9.
Yeah, so your frying pan does like, this thing Babe Roofs, it comes up from the floor of like somebody just hitting a home run out of like over the freaking green monster, right? It's gone. So the Neogi collapses to the ground dead at this point with a frying pan just And the frying pan's just bashing the dead Neogi for a couple more seconds. Just keeps going, doesn't stop. You got some angry ancestors. Okay, seeing their Neogi master.
Don't you hurt my Maggie.
Seeing their Neogi master fall to the ground, you actually notice the two Choldriths kind of like almost have like a haze lifted off from them, and now they just look startled. Like they're more worried that they're there than anything else. They don't like where they are right now because one of them is very badly damaged and the other one is he's sort of just like a little panicky looking, like, wait, where am I? So that's the end of your turn, Maggie. It's now Munley's turn. Munley's gonna... How's he doing on ammo? Have we been keeping track of his ammo at all?
Did that portal disappear when the Neogi went down?
Yes. Yes, it would have. It would have blipped right back out of existence, as a matter of fact.
Awesome.
And as a matter of fact, we'll say, the Neogi begins almost immediately to sort of just pool and melt into this just visceral slime that's just bubbling and very Wizard of Oz. Munley's gonna try and shoot this guy in the face.
Yeah, I want one of his teeth.
Let's see. Volbear. Yeah, so let's see. He's actually, what did we say? Say there. That is a 17, right? That one is. Okay, so he rolls a 23, so that's gonna hit. Rolling for damage with the revolver. Back to here. Here. And actions. Attack action. Revolver. And he does 2 damage. Oh wait, I'm sorry. 4 damage, my bad. God damn it, Munley! Okay.
At least he's managing to hit.
Yeah, that's true. He did hit. So that's gonna bring it back to Tohan because our Neogi friend is dead. Or no, I'm sorry, that brings back to the Choldriths because they had the first one. My bad. At this point, these guys are looking for a way out. So what this one's going to do... Get him to unlock here. He's going to move his full range of movement as much as he can. He's going to start climbing the wall over here. Let's say that he's like...
Can I hit him with the attack of opportunity?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm going to.
You can, and as a matter of fact, Munley can as well. We'll say the only one that can't is the frying pan because it's too busy.
Well, I swung recklessly on my turn, so I think I can still swing recklessly on my reaction. So
yeah, we'll go with that. I'm an easy DM. I don't argue about shit like that. I think that's cool. I was
gonna say I think that is true.
It probably is. I just want to know how you guys kill him. That's mostly my thing. I try not to play favorites, but... let's see, so...
And that is 10 damage.
Ooh, okay. 10 damage to the one that was already damaged. He is beyond very bloodied. I lost my pencil. Well, my pencil walked away. Alright. Yeah, so as he's walking away, you do that. Munley's also going to take his opportunity of attack. Our opportunity attack, too. Might as well. Go down here since I've already got the character sheet open. Takes a quick one, and it is a... I don't know, because I can't read that. So tiny. So I go to log. So he rolled a 9, so he missed with his shot. The other Choldrith is going to do something kind of similar, except for he's going to climb up the wall through the doorway, and he's going to try to make his way up this hall, like over the top of Maggie, who is still paralyzed, so you would not be provided with an opportunity to attack. And he's going to be literally up on the ceiling. So we'll say F8, click it. And click it. Oh, what am I doing wrong here? Alright. Well, yeah, so he is now up on the ceiling, about 10 feet behind Maggie, looking to run. The other one, you're in a closed room, in the big room there, so he's just kind of up in the corner, like, sort of trying to find any way out of this room that it doesn't look great for him. So that's their turn. That means it is Tohan's turn again.
I'm gonna throw a javelin at the one in the corner.
Okay.
Recklessly.
Nice.
Alright, so that's gonna be a 25 to hit.
Yep. And 3 damage, right? Let's see, he just...
That's a 13 damage.
Okay, it stabs directly into the thing's
Because I'm
thorax.
raging. It's +2.
Yep, he stabs directly into the thing's thorax, and it falls down and lands right on that javelin, kind of just on the ground dead.
Ah!
Rage! You guys ever see Big Mouth? That's what I picture Tohan doing. Rage, rage, fucking rage! That's great.
Rage.
Okay. Did you want to move anywhere? You're free to move now, too. Like, anyone who is frightened is free to move in any direction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get like right in her face, but I'm gonna go between the new girl and the gem here to make sure she doesn't try to scrap it.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Bloop. And yeah, you notice that now that the Neogi is kind of melted away into a puddle, the gem is now not pulsing. It's still got kind of a glow, but it's more internalized. It's almost as if there was like a small light source inside the gem now, whereas before it was like radiating this energy. So, probably interacting with the Neogi some way, you think. And we can take the other 3 copies of of Vanadia out here, and we'll get rid of her for now. Oh, sorry, you were going to run onto this side. For some reason, I stuck you in between Munley and the gem. I don't know. But there.
No, it's fine.
Alright, so at this point, Maggie,
character development moment than anything.
yeah. Let's see. So who is next after Tohan? That would be Aranth. Or Arianth.
Yes. Alright, so can I assume as a sorcerer that I can sense that gem?
You know just by looking at this gem. Like, you wouldn't need to be a sorcerer to look at this gem and be like, that's probably some fucking magic gem right there. That's it's glowing and shit. But, could you...
In the midst of a fight like this, if I wanted to do like an arcane check or something, would that count as an action, or is that like a?
At this point, you guys are essentially like, unless you're planning on chasing this Choldrith across the ceiling, then you're probably out of combat. Would be my take on it. The GIF over there somewhere too.
All right, so I want to use my my powers to try to sense something about this gem.
Okay, so. We'll say you kind of have to approach the little bit.
I'll move into the door. I'll move into the room now. Yeah.
Maggie, you are still currently paralyzed. This does not go away after you were hit with it. It just sort of seems to stay. Let's see. So when Arianth goes into the room, the gem again starts to kind of increase in glow. It starts to like get a little brighter. And as she gets closer, each step she takes closer, it just pulses a little brighter and a little brighter. And it's almost like, you know those, like the Tesla globes that they had in like Spencer's when we were kids that would go like, bzzz, when you touch them, they come out to you? It's
Yes.
sort of
I
doing
love those
that.
things.
That's pretty much what it's doing as you're getting closer and closer to it. Sparks are starting to hit the outside of the gem. Like, not just any sparks, but like maybe some crazy red magical sparks. At this
Do I
point,
sense any danger or anything? I can't hear what you're saying. Okay.
I would say you don't sense any immediate danger coming from it. It's not like, it doesn't look like it's about to zap you or anything. Like, it's just glowing, it's essentially like, to you it seems like maybe
Okay.
it's just kind of a fancy container for whatever is within it. Something perhaps is inside of the gem.
I have a chest we can put it in.
Well,
If you want, I have a chest we can put it in.
well, let me try to figure out, see if my magic can figure anything out about it first.
I think you would probably
Well, I'll
know.
move closer then. I mean,
Yeah, like again, as you keep moving closer, it just pulses and pulses. By the time you're standing right next to it, it is essentially now just a solid glowing crystal on the outside edge of it again. It is not glowing or pulsing nearly as much as it was when the Neogi was near it, however. It is more controlled, we'll say. And I think that you would recognize that while you know it's magic, you cannot ascertain exactly what type of magic it is without probably a specific detect magic spell of some sort. Like the spell detect magic.
okay.
Is this still turn-based? I mean, I guess like Maggie's gonna roll for wisdom, unless
Okay.
it's just like at the point where.
So here's what they call taking 20. Basically, it means that you're in a situation where you could just keep rolling until you get above your modifier.
Right.
So we'll say after about 2 minutes, we'll just kind of put
Right.
it in there, that you start to kind of loosen up, and maybe like you're still stiff and sore, but it's starting to go away now, and you're able to kind of like forcibly move a few inches at a time into the room, and through force of will sort of be able to start to overcome this. And yeah,
Gotcha.
at this point, we'll say that the choke
Okay,
has
and she
the most of
closed
it.
the pan at the door until it disappears,
Okay.
which is
So is there
it'll
anything else
disappear
I can... Oh, sorry.
in a minute though. Yeah, the spell lasts for a minute, so it'll disappear.
Okay.
Is there
Yeah, so at
anything
this...
else I can ascertain about the gem, or can I ascertain if it's safe to touch it?
What did you rolled a 14 on your Arcana? You said, right?
I did. You never had. No,
Oh.
I never did a check.
Okay, go ahead and do your Arcana check now then to see what you think about how safe that this thing is to handle.
$13.
Okay. So, as you're examining both the gem and the altar, you notice that the altar has sort of like these gilded metal bands running all the way around it, and these metal bands are not in contact with any other part of the altar that is metal. They're sitting on a wooden platform, and they run up above the platform and hold the gem so that it is suspended above the altar without actually making contact with the ground. That's what you kind of notice with that. And you think that that's probably important. There's probably a reason it's not touching the ground. Like a magical reason that they didn't want it to touch the ground. My dog's dreaming. He's making funny noises. Bye-bye, Neogi. Yoink. Or yeet, as the kids say, right?
Indeed.
I turn to Tohan and say, I'm not sure how safe, how we can touch or contain this gem without more knowledge.
Munley at this point speaks up and he says, well, quite frankly, we didn't come here for a gem. We came to find out the source of the Quaggoth infestation, and I don't think they brought this here with them. This looks like it's been here. Looks like it was something that was put here. Perhaps by the Companions of the Rose? I don't know. It looks too in place to have been brought in here. And he kind of turns and he looks at Venadia and he says, You came in with that thing. What do you know about it? Was this altar here?
When I entered through the portal, all of you and the altar were already here.
Where'd you come in through a portal through?
When the Neogi showed up, I followed it in.
Where are you from?
I've been chasing the Neogi for weeks to learn its intent and to hunt it down.
Did you find out its intent?
Bear with me. Because Zach gave me some details and I just have to kind of review a little bit.
Yep. Admittedly, I didn't give you as many details as I had planned on, but I was kind of still trying to set everything up here. So,
yeah.
if you want, we can what's called meta this, and just kind of I can explain to you what you would know and what I would assume you would explain to them at this point, since the point is for you guys all to play D&D together. So, you would know that the Neogis seem to. Several of these creatures you had spotted together at different points in your area of the world, which is much farther to the west than where we are now. Like, I'll say you guys can relate to each other. Like, you might want to ask these guys, like, what part of the nation are we in? And when they told you, you'd probably be very shocked, because you are originally from the area by Waterdeep on the Sword Coast, which is almost the entire distance of the main continent of the world away. You're on, like, it's like being in California and then you step through a portal and you are now in New York, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So if you relate that to them, as well as that the Neogis, although you don't speak their language, they would gesticulate a lot and they'd get very excited about certain things, and it seemed like they were making some sort of a plan to come here. And that's when you saw them open the portal. And so there was a few other ones left at the other side of the portal. Your best guess would probably be that they were planning some sort of an invasion of this area from where they were.
Right.
But that's about as much as you've discovered about them.
Okay.
Does anyone other than...
Maggie described the...
Oh, sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, Maggie describes the blue creatures that they're here to learn about, and asks if she knows anything about that.
All right. So Maggie describes to you this thing that you recognize immediately because you've seen hundreds of these things serving the Neogi. They're like an oversized blue furry gremlin, essentially, called a Quaggoth. And if you're answering honestly and everything, you would tell them, yes, absolutely, I've seen many of these things come and go around these Neogis.
Meredith says that she thinks that the Neogis may have been coming after that gem.
So were those cobbles. Mika was also after that gem. Cobbles that we ran into earlier.
True story. So clearly, you guys can ascertain that this is a gem of some sort of powers. obviously people that are after it at various points.
I say we take it with us. And if they want to bring it back, we can bring it back. But
All right. How would you like to go about doing that?
Is there a way for us to take it? Because we need
Yeah, Maggie
to
says-
be able to. I think we'd have to take the entire altar in order to do that, or at least the part.
Maggie says-
the part that's. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm like on a 4-second delay. But yeah, Maggie suggests that some of them stay with the gem and some of them go let the update the companions of the rose with what they know and find out what the gem is.
Okay. At this point, right as you're kind of batting that idea around, Guilfoyle shows up with Idril, the member of the Companions of the Rose you had met before. He had gone and gotten her. And when he told her what had happened, she couldn't help but rush back down here with him. So they come down, and she, again, to paraphrase things a little bit, she explains to you that this gem was, in fact, owned at one point by one of the Companions of the Rose, and they used it. He was a wizard, and he used it for great good throughout his time as a hero in the land. But as ultimately befalls humans in the world, he passed away. And not the type of passed away where you could resurrect him, he just died of old age. So, in memoriam of him, they brought the gem here, and they locked it away in the crypts. She requests that the gem stays here, and she assures you that it will be safe, but she does offer you any other treasures that are in the coffins and things, because the coffins are all broken apart, and she honestly just doesn't feel like keeping them, cleaning them up, and trying to build it all up again. They're just trinkets mostly to her, because the Companions of the Rose have had a long and storied history adventuring in the land, so these things are like a dime a dozen to them. But if you guys look through the coffins, you would find several other items, or she points them out to you even. One of which is a very large double-headed axe. One of which appears to be a sort of maul with a leather strap attached to it, and you believe it's something that would be like a thrown weapon. Let's see. You find a pair of very elaborate and ornate shackles, and you find a very large gem. Like much larger than any of the like gemstones you found. This is it's like 1.5 feet tall, and it's perfectly terminated on one end, and it goes down to like a neat spike on the other. And this gem it's purple, red, it's kind of multicolored, goes all the way through it. Ornate, arcane style patterns across it. And she assures you that all of these items are some form of magic item that they had accrued through their adventures at some point, and were essentially of no use to them, but they didn't want them to fall into the wrong hands, so they hid them down here with the gem. And she says, you folks are welcome to take them if you want. She kind of looks around the room, and she says,
oh yeah, we did.
She says, Barbarian, I know which one you'll want. She hands you the axe without even asking, without thinking. She turns to Maggie, and she says, I see you have a maul cleric. Have you ever seen one of these before? And she holds out the cudgel thing that you had seen, and she explains to you it's actually a mace, a dwarven mace of throwing. I can get back to that one. Sometimes just called a dwarven thrower. It is a type of sort of halfway in between a mace and a warhammer. And she tells you that it has the ability to return to your hand, like very Thor's hammer-like.
You got a Mjolnir.
You got a Mjolnir.
Oh yeah, into it.
So let's see, this 1, 2, 3. She turns and she looks she sees that you are holding the dagger in your hand. And she says, "That dagger, it's no soldier's weapon, but I do have something that a man of the law might like." She says, "I tell you what, why don't you hand the dagger over to the halfling, and I'll let you take these." And she holds out the shackles. And she says, "These are dimensional shackles." She says, "These will incapacitate, or these will hold any incapacitated creature from escaping. They are unable to escape them." So, meta-wise, what this means is these shackles, you can use an action, put them on any knocked out or prone creature, like incapacitated creature, a paralyzed creature, anything like that. They adjust to fit from small to large size. So they literally, as soon as you clamp them, they will shrink down to the thing's wrists. And in addition to serving as mundane manacles, they also prevent a creature bound by them from using any method of extra-dimensional movement, including teleportation or travel to a different plane of existence. They don't prevent the creature from passing through an interdimensional portal. So you and any creature you designate when you use the shackles can use an action to remove them. So you or somebody else that you can remove them. Once every 30 days, the creature that is bound by them can make a DC 30 strength athletics check. And that's the only way it can break free. So you're talking like, she said, well, to put it back into our RP here for a second, she says, "I think they'd pretty much hold anything but the fucking Tarask." So, and if you're willing to hand over the dagger when she takes or hands you the shackle, she'll just pass the dagger off to Gilfoy. Because I totally designed it for him. Alright. Nick. Mr. Booth, that is. So she looks at the axe that's in your hand now, and you're kind of looking it over, and you can tell it's a very fine axe with lots of like dwarven inlaid artwork and stuff on it. And one of the pieces of art on it is a picture of a dwarf fighting a giant with an axe that looks like the axe that you're holding. And she explains to you that dwarves often made weapons with the intention of fighting a specific creature, and in this case, it's most likely that denotes that this is a giant slayer axe. So when you use this axe, you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this weapon. It counts as a magic weapon, so anything that is not hurt unless by magic will be hurt by it. When you hit a giant with it, the giant takes an extra 2d6 of damage, of slashing damage, in this case it's an axe, and must succeed on a DC 15 strength saving throw or fall prone. For the purpose of this weapon, giant refers to any creature with the giant type, including ettins and trolls.
Okay. Yeah, I bought on D&D Beyond. I was able to add it in.
Yes, you did, because I made sure I got it off from there. She looks finally at Arianth, and she picks up the large crystal and holds it in her hand, and she says, "This is a bit different. This isn't a weapon. Not really." She says, This is something quite wondrous. This is something that our wizard friend would use on occasion, though he didn't like to talk about it. He actually had some dragon's blood lineage. He had some innate spellcasting ability, if you will. He was part sorcerer. He used to use this, and when he would cast a spell, he was able to increase the amount that he could change how that spell would be cast. He says, or she says. So again, to meta this, it's a really nice crystal, and when you hold it in your hands, you're almost overwhelmed with like some emotional memory from your past. Like you can feel it coming through this crystal, where it's almost like it goes into you and finds the thing that you want the most, and then kind of tries to show it to you in a way, like emotionally, like an empathy type deal. So as an action, you can attach this shard to an object, such as a weapon or a piece of jewelry, or detach it. And that takes an action to do. If it falls off the item that is attached to, your attunement to it will end, which means you will no longer be able to use it until you reattune to it. You can use this as a spellcasting focus while you hold or wear it. So this is great for you, Jen, and for Ariane specifically, because when she uses a meta magic option on a spell while you're holding or wearing the shard, you can roll on the Wild Magic Surge table in the player's handbook, and if it's a spell, if the result is a spell, it is too wild to be affected by your meta magic, and if it normally requires concentration, it doesn't require concentration in this case. The spell lasts for its full duration. So basically, this is one every day or so. It's like a one charge item. You will be able to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, and again, if it's a spell, it will automatically cast, and then you cannot additionally cast any meta magic on it, or you can use it to not have to concentrate when a spell requires concentration on your part. It'll just let you kind of do it automatically without thinking about it.
Is there a name for it so I can find it on the...
it is called the Feywild Shard, she tells you. That's F-E-W, or F, yeah, I can't talk. F-E-Y, Wild Shard. It's actually in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything on page 127, if that's helpful too. I don't know if we have all that stuff on there still or not.
Yeah, all the compendiums are there.
Awesome.
I've actually been slowly but surely trying to read them.
Yeah, good luck. There's so much. There's so much. I've been playing this game for a really long time.
I'm starting at the beginning with just like...
Yeah, there's no way, I don't think any one person would ever be able to make it through all of the books for D&D and actually retain all of that information.
Oh no, I'm not
it's
trying
insane.
to. I'm just trying to get through the main like player's handbooks and the, like...
Yep, I would say the best ones that if you want to read some of the stuff for players would be like Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron, and what is the other one that's like that? There's the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. That's got some good stuff for players in it, like some different options for sorcerer stuff. And definitely delving into books is pretty much the best way to find out what cool special abilities your class can develop as you guys level up. Speaking of leveling up, man, what a segue! Everybody that is not level 4 already is now level 4.
Sweet.
I was reading that when I level up, I can actually change out one of my spells. So correct. I might change a couple of spells since I haven't done that.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't want me to take feats instead of just proficiency bonus increases, right?
No, that's fine. I don't mind feats as long as as we can find them and I can read them, then I can make them work. You know. I'm pretty quick on my feet to come up with stuff if I have to. You know what I mean of dealing with things. So, let's see. So that is your magic item stash that you were promised several sessions ago. I told you I'd have stuff coming up for you, and I sure did.
Nice. The Warhammer requires attunement by a dwarf, it says. So I assume that before Maggie can use this, she needs to go find budget. Okay.
Yeah, we're fudging that. It's everything except for that part.
Okay.
You can totally just attune to it. It takes a matter of time. Like, attunement is kind of a weird thing that I've never really dealt with in D&D because it's new to 5th edition, I believe. Or maybe 4th edition. But,
okay.
Like, it basically what attunement is like, in order to get kind of vibed in with your magic item, you need to spend some time fucking with it. It's like if you got a new guitar, you wouldn't know everything about the guitar until you played the guitar for an hour. And then you probably would, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, we can bypass the dwarf thing. There's a couple of other things that might sound weird if you read the actual, like, literature off the D&D Beyond thing. but it's close enough for government work, and it's, you know, these are flavor items as much as they are damage items too. So one never knows when he's gonna come across a giant or need to shackle an interdimensional being. I'm just saying. Never ever. That might never happen ever in your whole campaign. Might not.
Yeah, this Warhammer is also good for giants, so I hope we're fighting giants at some point.
See, you say that you hope you're fighting giants at some point now, Dave, but that might change when you're fighting giants.
Yeah.
So yeah, so at this point, the GIF is nowhere to be found. That clown shoe's effed off. Guilfoyle, he tells you that he'd love to stick around for a bit, but he met a pretty young lass at one of the local establishments, and he puts up air quotes when he says it, and he'd like to go back and hang out with her for a while, so he just bounces. Probably taking a few gold coins out of your guys' stash, but not anything noteworthy, really. Venadia, being told that the area that you are in is a very small area. Let's say that these guys can relate this to you, because this will give you kind of the backstory of what they've been through so far. You're in a small area on the very far east of Abir Toril, the planet that you're on. Now, Abir Toril's central continent kind of consists of like 3 minor continents, and you're on the easternmost of these continents, along a coastline, essentially, that runs from a mountain range down to the coastline, and then into atop these mountains that these guys had to climb up into to get here, is a huge lake, like larger than like the 5 Great Lakes combined, maybe, or somewhere's in that realm. It's like maybe like 100 miles wide, we'll guess. And it's called Lakemother, and sometimes referred to as Caleah-Lakemother. So you haven't seen this city, and they're explaining it to you. It's a large city that you're in. It's a medium city that you're in, or a large town, right? Like, picture something maybe the size of downtown Saratoga or a little bit bigger. But you are probably several months travel from home. And ultimately, your goal is to get back there to report your findings about the Neogis and what you've seen. So that's, I would say, your bond at this point, almost. Like, if you're looking at that from like that character sheet perspective, like, you would want, that would be the thing you would most want to do as a character, is you would most want to get back to the area by Waterdeep and report to the people who had sent you there, probably some of the local officials from one of those towns nearby.
Okay.
So after,
what's the name of
the town that you are in right now is called Lakemother, or sometimes called Caleah, by like. Let's see. So
We lost.
Oh,
We lost Nick, it looks like.
who'd we lose?
Yeah, it was Nick.
Mr.
Yeah.
Booth.
Oh,
Let's see if you can get back in, hopefully.
Yeah, I just saw another.
Where is my Google Meets is buried.
He said, oh yeah, right, his computer. Now I won't let him rejoin.
Huh. Okay. 1 second. I'll find it on here for him. Minimize that. Oh, come on. Minimize that. Minimize that. And then try and find where the Google Meets is. I have like 30 tabs open on my computer right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Google Meets. That one. Nope. Not that one. Just kidding. No, Facebook, right? Shouldn't it be that one? Start closing some stuff because that might be affecting it too. While we're waiting for Nick to get back, I'm going to try real hard to get all of this back for him here. I don't know which tab it was. I'm going to close all those guys out because we don't need them anymore. And put it behind For some reason, it's not letting me open the messenger group. Shit snap. Let's see if I can do it from my phone to invite him. It'll work. Oh. Turn. Oop. Come on. Okay. Click. See if I can send him an invite here. Group. Group. Technology's awesome. Link. Can't just sign into it. That's weird. Yeah, because I can't even open the Facebook. Oh wait. Ha! Okay, that's probably why. Hey! Did I get
Sorry
you back?
about that. Got
No,
voted
it's okay.
there. And then it wasn't doing it, so I had to restart my computer.
If I had to guess, I was probably overloading my my side because my computer has a ton of crap open on it right now too. Do our best here to move that down. Okay, so we got all the cameras. Okay, so assuming that you guys can now go tell, well, you don't have to tell Idril, because she can see that the crypts have now been cleared of these Quaggoths, and she has come in through the crypt entrance that you guys saw just up the hall. It's now quiet in the crypts, and she seems content to know that that's what it was. She kind of thanks you for helping, thanks you for the service that you provided. But she doesn't seem quite at peace, and she says, "I'm sorry, but there's another matter I must attend to, so we must exit the crypts fairly quickly. I have business." And with that, she kind of just turns around. Guilfoyle also at the same time. I'll just play this one out for Bill. He's excited to just get back upstairs too. So, are you guys gonna follow up the crypt entrance so you don't have to climb back through the sewers again?
Yeah,
Deal with the muck.
You gonna lock us in here?
Yeah, well, exactly, right.
I think so.
Is there anything else to search before we go?
You guys pretty much cleared the place out, to be honest.
Alright, yeah. Follow away.
Yeah, I just see that one door that we didn't go into, like this small room with a coffin that we can see now, but I think that's the only door that we didn't go into.
Yeah, and actually, I already had that set up where that was another kobold room, in case you guys didn't see the kobolds over here for some reason. But since you did, there weren't any kobolds here. Isn't that convenient? I love being a DM. It's awesome. Like, I wasn't kidding about playing around with all the other figures and being like, alright, so this guy would have killed this guy. Like, I literally did that for like an hour and a half. It was great. Just played D&D by myself. So...
No, I'm definitely gonna go back to a tavern and take a rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's see if you are.
So,
So as you guys begin to exit, you sort of, well, one, it's now, because you rested kind of, like, you left early in the morning, you went down through the sewers, that was a couple hours, you went through the crypts, that was a couple hours, and then you rested, so it's now evening time, we'll say.
I was gonna ask you, real quick sec, since you ended up making it that we rested, does that mean that I didn't have to take a drink of my,
Oh, I keep saying that, don't I? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I do keep saying that, don't I? Because I keep saying rested, but I'm thinking of it in, like, terms of mechanics. And it's kind of translating to time for my brain. So, we'll say that time moves as fast as plot requires, and so by the time you guys reach the exit to the crypts, it is now like dusk time, and you exit into Demonsville. one of the districts of Lakemother. It is dark enough that you can't necessarily see anywhere where there isn't a torch lit, but there are several torches lit throughout town that are kind of illuminating things. You can actually see a group of people off through an alley not far from where you are, maybe a few hundred feet away, and they all seem to be gathered around several large fires, kind of. You don't know if they're celebrating or what, but they don't seem to be in any sort of distress. They're just over there. Let me really quickly find an actual mini for Vanadia. Saved objects. So many things. I just passed it, didn't I? Did I? Use elemental P. I know the alphabet, I promise. PCs and PCs, there they are. So land on the table. Land on the table. Land on the table. So, search. Oh.
Just a great weapon master B.
Great weapon master? Okay.
That's pretty neat, because I can take like a -5 penalty to hit, but then it does plus 10 damage. Plus if I kill something, like I can take another attack as a bonus action.
Yeah, the martial classes have some very, very cool combat abilities. Like, it's funny because everybody always thinks that spellcasters get all the cool features, but like it's the trade-off because they're weaker. But the thing is that the martial classes are really pretty balanced to the spell classes I found. So that was Weapon Master, you said, right?
Great Weapon Master.
Great Weapon Master. So I can read up on that after the session here.
I haven't decided what I want to do with ASI versus feats yet, but what's the cutoff again for ability score increases?
It's got to be an even number. So every time it goes up by, 2, 4, 6, like that's your modifier goes up by 1. So bringing up like an ability score from 10 to 11 doesn't really do anything for your modifier at all.
Gotcha. So if I'm at 16, don't bother. Like 17 doesn't help, 18 does, and that's
yeah.
Okay.
And it's not that 17 doesn't help, it's that it doesn't get you that extra 1 point of modifier yet. You know what I mean? Like, it just means it takes 2 levels to get that extra bonus, that's all.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm definitely leveling up. Or ASIs, I mean.
Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount of feats, especially since I got that Tasha's Cauldron thing, like...
Yeah,
that, over, like, just like the poisoner feat and stuff like that is pretty interesting.
I haven't dug too deep into it yet, but it is a pretty interesting book. I do know that the meme group that I'm in has been kind of edgelords versus SJWs about the wheelchair thing. Like, it's literally been like a war of memes. It's ridiculous. It got to the point where I stopped looking at them, and then I started looking at them again because they started getting funny again. So, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the big thing in D&D is there's like these miniatures that somebody made that are like battle-ready wheelchairs for disabled adventurers, which, like, okay, cool, whatever. But everybody's pointing out things like, hey, dungeons have stairs. And, like, we have clerics that can heal your fucking legs and shit like that. And it's, like, it's really stupid, but it's also really funny when you're looking at it from, like, the etic perspective and you're not arguing with anybody about it. I just go there to post pictures of, like, Howard the Duck and shit, I don't know.
There's a great podcast called The Adventure Zone, and like the most recent arc they're doing, one of the NPCs, it has like a magic basically wheelchair, just like it floats, it has stuff,
Yeah. Fuck clerics, I don't want them to touch me, I'm just gonna float myself with magic.
Soldier. I might actually have a tiefling soldier.
Sweet. Well, Maggie just got more wise and even more charismatic. Maybe that'll help.
Every little bit counts.
There's a really cool feat called Lucky too, which would help like anyone. Where it's just like you basically can just choose to re-roll any roll you have. Like after you know, so like say you do like an attack spell and it just fails, like you can like choose to re-roll like using the Lucky feat like 3 times per roll rest. I almost took that, but.
Yeah, I have the option to grab either ability score.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th level is a big level for sure. Like, it's funny because when they talk about milestones, it's not... I never really dealt with milestones. We always kept track of XP, and it just was like a crunch the numbers game where you just had to kill, and it was like Final Fantasy. You had to grind enough to get to that next level. But the milestone is nice because it keeps it plot-oriented, you know? It's like... It's where you get to the point in the video game and somebody goes, here's this awesome thing! So... I'm kind of a big fan of it, actually. It's let me develop the story in a slightly different way than I normally would. I don't have to keep track of exactly what CR everything is. So it's been nice, actually. I've really enjoyed it. I think I will probably go forward using the milestone system from now on. It also takes a lot of the player competition out of things. You know, it's not who killed the monster to get the points. It's we all killed the monster so we can fucking level up and get cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, my other campaign so hard in this campaign. I've killed 16 things.
Oh, you have been tracking.
Yeah, since the first episode.
Well, yeah, it was pretty much...
proud of
I think it was you and Arlo pretty much killed every single bandit except for, like, I think Arian's killed 1, Maggie killed, like, 1, and then, I think Munley killed 1, too, but I don't... No, Munley wasn't even with you guys yet when that happened, so yeah, there was like a dozen of those bandits. You probably killed, like, 10 bandits in your first session. Just one-shotting them.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned that I need to give you stronger enemies.
I'm just proud of Maggie's style of kill, like killing the Jesus, I keep forgetting his name,
yeah.
thing with the frying pan.
Neogi.
Neogi.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, like, I'll take a minute to say, I know a lot of people are into the whole Matt Mercer, how do you want to do this thing? And that's fine, if you have an idea, you can always be like, oh, I want to kill it like this. I'm all on board. I'm a big rule of cool DM. I'm like, if I think it sounds fucking cool, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, you should do that. But I'm probably never gonna remember to be like, how do you want to do this? And make it all dramatic, because I'm not Matt Mercer, and I don't want to be Matt Mercer. I mean, I kind of want to bang Marisha Ray, but I don't want to be Matt Mercer.
I want you to be Matt Mercer.
Amanda wants me to be Matt Mercer. So, I don't know if anybody besides Nick is a big fan of Critical Role. That's what I'm talking about, like the kind of sort of the example of a D&D TV show type thing. All right, so
I listen to a lot of D&D podcasts because I have a long drive to work, so I pretty much rotate between like 4 of them throughout the week.
So I think, I mean, we can always add in our own, like, if we care how something is killed, we can say it as we're doing it. But otherwise...
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's just me saying I appreciate flavor. I like flavor in my role-playing, it's fun. But I'm not a stickler for anything, really. Like, I don't care if you guys want to meta through stuff and kind of just be like, my character does this. Or if you want to fucking wear a spiked helmet and scream at your freaking camera, that's fine. I'm into that. I think that's super cool. Oh,
yeah,
I almost forgot. I was supposed to freaking... So, somebody's got to roll a d20 for me. Because I need to know how I'm supposed to wear this during this session tonight. I told Rob I'd do this, so somebody roll a d20 for me.
Rolling.
16.
Okay. Over a 10.
16, that's crazy.
Over a 10. It's gotta be a cape.
No cape.
It's gotta be a cape.
That's right, your Nancy cape that Rob
Yeah.
got you.
See that?
Or your apron, rather. I saw that. That's awesome.
Hey, listen, an apron and a cape are the same exact piece of clothing. I'm just saying. See that? Yeah. Now I'm just really hoping that the recording actually picks it up. I'm not sure. I've had a couple of encoding errors, so we might be missing some stuff out of the video, but we'll see. Are you guys done for the night? Or did you want to explore more, or what? I mean, it's about 10 o'clock right now. So that's about our average game is about 3 hours.
Yeah, I have to get up early tomorrow,
Okay.
so I wouldn't mind.
And this is actually, it's a perfect stopping spot for the maps and stuff. So you guys literally are now just standing outside these crypt entrances, minus this fucking asshole gift that tried to rob you guys.
Oh, if we see him, he's gonna
Get out of
online
here,
and-
gift.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm sure he'll come back eventually, even if briefly. I'm a big fan of
I
returning.
want to cover monthly.
Did we establish Vanadia is joining the group for like is there a reason?
That is literally a question not for me. That's a question for Mr. Farah.
Right. Oh, I might have just cut out. Or I cut out.
No, his camera's off.
You still there, Nick? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I would assume so. Provided that he didn't have a miserable time, I would hope that he would come back again and join us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can hear from him next time.
Yeah. I mean, we can hit it up in the Facebook group too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He might have got moved too.
Yeah, sometimes this thing gets wonky, and especially, I don't know if there's like a time limit on how long that we've been on the Facebook room. If it starts going, okay, guys, I need server space, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will make sure that this all gets. Really, it's already saved. I had it all set up so that in case you guys blasted through that encounter and stuff, then we could still have some stuff to do. I know that the last 2 sessions have been really combat heavy, and that can drag on if we just do that. So I'm going to try and give you guys a few more role-playing opportunities coming through there this next couple of sessions, probably. Not to say there won't be bad guys to kill, but it might also require some finesse, too, is all. Just as a warning.
Cool.
So,
Is next week Super Bowl?
yes, next week is the Super Bowl, so no game then. Following week, stick to the 7 o'clock Sunday, if that's alright with everybody.
That's fine with me. I'm free this Friday as well. I don't know if we wanted to look at doing maybe a Friday game again, but
I can do Friday.
I know
I can
that's
try, but I can't it'll be another deal where I can't guarantee when I'll be on.
Okay.
'Cause
We can always do like we did with...
I'm fine with waiting too. So
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
I
if
can do
you guys
Wednesday.
want to do stuff, we can do stuff. Hey, there he is.
I'm back.
Yay. So yeah, now you guys can ask him. Because that's totally a question for Vanadia, not for me, if she's gonna join the group.
Well, I have to get back to my my city, right?
Yep.
To report back. So if you guys are heading in that direction,
Well, you guys are headed. You guys are headed kind of southwest. It is sort of on the way for at least a little part of the way until you guys get towards. If you're still planning on going towards Terrabir to try to rescue the twins.
Well, yeah, that was the whole point of coming
yeah,
here.
where are you guys headed to next?
well, we'll talk to a drill first because she sent some scouts ahead for us and kind of see what she finds out.
Yeah, I want to find out what they're using, they're still using to try to track them.
That's right. Arianth is still carrying that necklace, Jen. And before you guys go, I'll actually leave you with a little bit of a cliffhanger. Just out of curiosity, we'll say that maybe when you come out of the crypts, you kind of pick the necklace up just to check, just to see if it's still the same direction.
No, I gave that necklace to the people who, remember when,
Oh,
when
that's
they,
right. That's
when
right.
they sent the scouts ahead, they took the necklace.
Well, then never mind. We'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
'Cause now I have to revise my plot because I forgot about that. I mean, I didn't forget something. So yeah, I would say that your paths would at least link up for a while, more than likely. If you're,
Sure.
Nick, you're more than welcome every Sunday. That's when we play generally. We were just saying this upcoming Sunday, Super Bowl Sundays, we're not. I'll leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to get together for a Friday group, you can let me know anytime before Friday, pretty much, because I don't have a life, so I just sit around and think about D&D stuff all the time.
Yeah, I know what Dave's doing, but I mean, I'm fine with just leaving it up to Jen, too, because I feel bad being like, hey, let's try to do this, and then she can't get on to, like, 8:39, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Fridays are tough for me. I have Wednesdays off, so I could do a Wednesday night if that could work for anybody.
I could do a Wednesday.
The other way we could do this, too, guys, is, since you're in a city, if, like, you guys wanted to just have, like, a little one-shot, like, do, like, an hour-long thing to kind of do some downtime stuff and explore, we could do something similar to that, too. It doesn't always have to be, like, a big 6-8-person campaign party thing. Stuff can happen without other people present. But it doesn't have to, it's all kind of depending on what you guys enjoy doing the most. And
maybe I can find a fighting pit or something.
Huh.
If you guys wanted to, like, try starting later on Friday, that would be helpful.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm free.
Yeah, I don't have anywhere to go Saturday morning, unlike Monday mornings usually, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you wanted to do,
Yeah,
like,
later.
8:30 on Friday? Would that be cool for you guys?
Fine with me.
Sure.
Probably.
That
Yeah.
gives me some. That means I don't have to worry about rushing home from work, and I actually have time to eat and veg. Like,
Yeah,
Just chill out
defrag
for
your
the
brain
time
from
to
work a
walk.
little bit. I remember those days. There was literally days I'd walk in the house and Amanda would start talking to me after work, and I'd be like, meh, just throw a hand up and walk by her. Where it's like, no, it was one of those days. I don't wanna talk to anybody right now. I've been there. Well, either way, guys. So did you guys want to try for this Friday then at 8:30? And if something comes up, we can always just cancel
Sounds
it.
good.
Not a
I think
big deal.
so.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So I will see you guys in a little less than a week then, and we will continue our adventure through Caleah, and probably farther west and south, it sounds like.
All right. See you then.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.